Okay guys, this is what we're trying to fix today on this truck. Anybody that's got one of these. Alright guys, we're going to get started on this project. First thing we're going to do is we need to take off a couple of things here. We'll put some gloves on real quick. We'll see if we can get started, but we've got to get back here to get this this tank off. So the first thing I'm going to do is take this little filter here, or this little trim, and you just slide it forward. It's a little bit frustrating to get off, but in essence, it comes off like that. And that actually didn't go the way I wanted it to. That was supposed to come off in one piece, but it did not. So now we're gonna have to try this again. Problems. Mama said there'd be days like this. The understanding is it just slides forward and then pops out. So there is that. Okay, now we got access to these two. I think those are 13, I believe. Let's see, yep, 13. Lefty loosey, righty tighty. One of these days I'm going to be able to afford one of those nice DeWalt ratchets. Not in the cards at the moment though. Take the bolts out, lay them right up at the front. Take the bolt, lay it up at the front. The bar comes out, lay it right up here. All right, we're getting closer and closer. All right, next step, guys, we're gonna try to take this air box off. And to get this air box off, the first thing we're gonna do is try to figure out this clip here. And I'm normally not very good with these clips, I have to tell you. I can never remember which way they're supposed to go. I think you pull that out. It always takes me just a little while to figure these guys out, but I'm pretty confident that has to come out. It almost looks to me like somebody is, yeah, somebody's been pulling on this before, to the point where it almost looks like somebody there you go. So that pulls out like so. And then you look down here in the back. I wish you guys could see this, but you got a couple of little, what I call Christmas tree clips that pop on. So you need some type of little pry bar. There's two hose clamps that go in the back of the air box to hold this air sensor in place. You gotta pop that off, and somebody'd already had the other one. All right, so now we have that loose. So this we're gonna just kind of stick out of the way for a second. We're gonna take a 5/16 and see if we can get that off. Boy, it's nice when you have all of the tools at your disposal. That good and loose. And I've been told there's an easy way to do this. I've been told you just rock it back. Hey, look at that. And then rock it forward. There we go. And now what you do is you remove the air box like that. So far, so good. So now that we have the air box out of the way, we can come up here. We're going to disconnect the battery on this side and that side. We'll start with the negatives and then see what we got. First, I think I can take this little guy off, I believe. And you can just lay this out of the way. Hopefully it'll stay out of the way. All right, let's disconnect the batteries first. That is a 10 millimeter. This is also a good opportunity to check to make sure you don't have any corrosion on your cables. We'll take that, put that up here somewhere out of the way. Come over to this side. Let's try to do the same thing over here. Is it the negative? That is the negative. Okay. By doing that, we should have no danger of getting anything sparking. Famous last words, I know. See if I can get you set back up here. So now we can take the red, the positive off. Get that out of the way. Now we're down to these two here, which I think those are, nope. Those may be 13 millimeter. So yep, you got to disconnect these two. And when you go to take these off, a couple of things I like to do. Hold that nut in my hand, and I'll show you what I'm going to do here. Just 1 second. I like to put those little nuts back on there instantly because I'm afraid I'm going to lose them. Now, when you pull this off, notice here it's got a little ear on it. So that one goes on the left, this one goes on the right. That way you know you get them back in the right spot. I'm going to put these back on here and run down just a little. And then now, I'm going to try to figure out how to get this off of the battery. I think it just pries up. All right. This one, I think you can now just slide this over to the side. Great. Now we get access to the battery hold down. We're going to remove the battery hold down. And then we're going to pull the battery out. I wonder what size that is. Should be a 13. It is, but I need a extension. So guys, we're in North Texas. It's going to get up to 100 degrees today, or 99. Feel like probably 103. So it's early in the morning. I'm trying to get this job done while it's still somewhat cool. Humidity is bad. So if I start sweating on this project, guys, it is what it is. So now I'm removing the battery hold down. Take this out for convenience. And now that battery is ready to be removed from the truck. It's a little bit of a pain because you got to get past all the alligators trying to bite you. Ah! All right, let me go set this down. Woo! All right, we're making progress. So this is the first time I've done this job, so I don't want to act like I know what I'm doing. I have researched some other videos. There was one in particular that was very helpful. A guy, I think the name of his channel was Farmer C, I believe. And he was very helpful, showing a lot of this. So the truck really shouldn't be hot. We're going to try to take a little pressure off of it here. Okay, so pay no attention to this hose, that's just a drain hose. Now we're down to these two clips that are on here. Let's get our pliers, channel locks. Now I've been told these clips might be self-locking. In other words, if you open that up, you might be able to just get it off. In this case, I'm just going to try to work it up a little and get it where I can remove it. I think I got it up high enough. Get it up out of the way. Then we're going to do the same thing down here, but this is a much bigger, larger clip. Tell you what, I'm going to remove that hose first. Now I got a little more room. Not exactly sure what that hose is, but of course it's just right in the way. Thank you, GM. Until right now, this clip is going to bite me a little. Oh, there we go. There we go. I think I got it going my way. I think I got it going my way. Okay. Got that out of the way. And I'm sure this is going to be more of a challenge. Don't want to get this one, just get it to swivel just a little. Now we got a tank underneath the bottom. We're going to try to catch as much of this as we can, but unfortunately there's just going to be a little spillage that happens here. The good news is it's only about half a gallon or a quarter of a gallon in here, so it's not a tremendous amount that's running out. Got that loose. There's also one on the side over here that I'm going to loosen up. See if we can get this one off as well. So this tank is really kind of strange. You fill up the bottom, but the overflow is actually down on the very bottom of this tank. So it sometimes looks like the tank doesn't have anything in here, but as long as you got antifreeze showing at the fill line, it's okay for this tank to be empty because that's literally the overflow. All right, we got our two caps taken off. We're going to set that one up there as, and you notice the one on the top is, this is the top one, this is the side. Notice the top one is taller. Now let's see, we got one clip at the bottom. And right there is the problem in this thing. That little sensor inside of that tank is the issue. Set this aside for the time being. Now I think we need a 10. And there is only one bolt that holds that tank in, but the tank has a notch in the bottom that makes this thing hold in place. So what you got to do here is you kind of got to just rock it a little bit and it will slide out. So okay guys, there is your old tank, and it's that sensor right there that's actually creating the problem on this whole operation. So we pull that, set that aside. You can hear my dog barking. While we have it out, it's always a good opportunity to clean the leaves out. Let me grab a paper towel. We'll clean this work area up right here, and then we'll be ready to dive in here. Always a good opportunity when you got your battery out, clean your battery tray. Just kind of keeps it from corrosion, all the dust and stuff in here. Doesn't have to be perfect, but that's just how I like to roll. All right, so now that we have that cleaned up, we can assess the situation. Let me grab the new tank. Okay everyone, you can see this is the new tank that we're putting back in and we're installing. But once again, this is the sensor right here that creates all of the problems. That is the coolant level indicator sensor. So, and if you look right down here at the bottom, you see those two little slots? Those match the two slots on the bottom of this tank. And that's what we're going to use to do this. So when reinstalling this thing, we're going to set it down here, make sure you get your hoses, and we're going to just try to feel until it goes in there, and then we're going to push it back. You'll know you have it back all the way when it's up against the front of the hood, and also when your hole aligns in the bottom. Put our bolt back in the bottom. We'll get ready to tighten this up. Once again, this is a 10 millimeter. Just so happen to have one. Once again, one of these days I'm going to buy a Milwaukee electric ratchet. I think they have one that's really kind of small and nice, but that's another day. All right, got the bolt tight. The new tank is in place. So now at this point, I can reconnect the sensor on the bottom. It goes in like that, make sure it clicks. We can now reinstall the top hose. Just wiggle this thing on. Take our pliers, get the clamp good and loose. Come on now, work with me. Oh, they're always complicated. You guys ever notice it's always the last little bit that gets you? All right, so we have that in place. Where did I do with the hose for the top? That's a good question. We don't want to lose that. Hopefully I didn't get it trapped in the back. Oh, it's on the part that we have bolted over down here. So okay, we'll get to that in a second. That's looking pretty good. You notice it didn't come with the top cap, so we're going to set that back in there just for the second because I don't want to get anything in there. That's nice and clean. I'm just looking at a couple of things here. I think we are ready to set our battery back in place. So let's get the battery back in place and get the hold down back in there, and let's go. Batteries are either getting heavier or I'm getting older. I'm not sure. One of the two. All right, get the battery in place. Make sure you're comfortable with that. Get our battery hold down in place. I think that is 13, I believe. You don't have to over tighten it. Just make sure it's good and in place. One thing I like to do, guys, back on that house cleaning, I just like to make sure and wipe down the area around the battery. Make sure everything's nice and clean before we jump in and get started. Okay, now what? This is the point I like to just kind of Okay, since we have the housing out of the truck, it's always a good time to go ahead and change the air filter. There's two little screws that come on each side, like this, 5/16 wrench will get it out. And now, this is how easy it is, just to tilt that back and remove the old air filter. If you notice, a couple of things here. Wow, I am majorly behind on cleaning this guy up, and boy, she doesn't look that good. Well, let me do this. I'm going to take a break here. I'm going to go hook the air compressor up, clean this pre-filter element up, then we're going to install the new STP air filter on top of it. Let me know, let me know what brand of air filter you guys prefer. More to follow. Okay guys, this is the new filter. There's the old one. We're going to put it back in and we'll be ready to go. Pause for a second. Make sure I got everything going good at this point in time. So I think it's time now that we reinstall this little top carriage, I believe. I think that just snaps in like so. Yep, I think that's pretty much it. So we get these two little guys back. Remember I talked about the tab on the left one. Make sure you get that tab on the left. On the left. Tighten that back down. Right hand. Loosen the one on the right here. Get that one tightened back down. I think those are 13s, I believe. Yep. These don't have to be real snug. Don't get carried away with them. Okay, let's slide our positive battery back on. See if that thing's wiggled down as far as we can get it. I think that looks pretty good. This is a 10 millimeter. Got that back on there. So we're looking pretty good here. I think this has all come together. I got one clamp here that I don't really like. See if I can get this redone. There you go. I wanted to get that one in first. Well, the other two won't go on. Okay. I think we're looking pretty good, other than I just lost my glove. Okay, now I think we can just come back on here like this. Get this one to snap back on. Get that cap back on there. So now we can return our top line over here. Get this on here like so. Gotta find some pliers. What did I do with my pliers? Here we go. These things always fight me. Biggest problem is you have to wiggle and hold the clamp at the same time. Almost there, guys, but not quite. There we go. Make sure that's nice and snug. And right here, you notice there is a little notch where that holds in there. Now I need to get the drain off of the old one, which this is just a gravity held. There's nothing really special about that. It just snaps on. And actually there is a hose down here, or an opening in the molding, where you push this down through there, and then it stays out of your way. That all looks nice and clean. Guys, we're making progress here. I'm gonna wait to connect the battery back to the end. Right now we're gonna jump on this air filter, but before I do that, we need to go change the air filter in the box. So I'm just gonna stick that like that so we won't get any dirt daubers or anything in there. And now let's go tackle this guy. Wonder what size that is. Could I be lucky? You see how I always have me a setup here where it's nice, I can get in here. Let's see, I'm hoping this is gonna be a 5/16. Would Chevy be nice enough that they would give us? Look at that. They did. Tell you what, guys, I'm gonna hit pause here while I change that air filter, and we'll be right back. Okay, we got the air filter back in the air filter assembly, and we're getting ready to reinstall it. I want to point out there's two little areas right here that hold this box in place. So this is what we got to get to, is to get those two little boxes in place. It's going to be kind of hard to maneuver it in here. It's very tight, very challenging, but let's see if I can get this done. Get you set up here, guys. Maybe you can watch this. Here is the box. Make sure you got all of your hoses out of the way. And once again, if you remember what a pain we had getting it out, it's gonna kind of be a tight fit to get it back in. But you just keep kind of wiggling, making sure you're not pinching any hoses. A little tight on this side because we got the hose for the engine block heater. But just keep going, and it kind of just falls into place. Now this is where it gets to be a little challenging, is you're trying to get those two little pins I talked about in their holes. Oh, that was one. Yep, that's it, guys. All right, so I can now take this off. I want to get that back in there as soon as possible. I just don't like that being open. Step around here. See what I'm trying to work on right here. Trying to get this front section. Well, these trucks are so tall, I gotta have a step stool. There we go. Got that in there. Believe that's 5/16. Tighten this up. Once again, you don't have to get crazy with it. Nice and snug. That's good. We are getting close, guys. We are getting close. Okay. Now, if you remember, I had two little pins on the back side. One was for the air sensor connection, and the other was a radiator hose. So for this part of the exercise, you have to operate like a blind man. You just kind of have to feel your way through here. So you find the clip. This one with the radiator goes in the bottom. That one went in. The little hose deal for the sensor wire is on the top. Once again, got that plugged in. Got this sensor on here. Somebody in the past had pushed on this thing and I don't like it. So I'm probably gonna come put some electrical tape on here when I'm finished, because that wire was exposed a little there. All right. I see right now I didn't get that all the way in. So unfortunately, I'm gonna have to loosen that. There we go. Now I got it. And one thing, guys, always take your time. I know everybody wants to get finished as quickly as possible, especially when it's 100 degrees. Just remember the steps you did on the front end, the steps you're doing on the back end. Make sure everything looks good. And just keep taking your time and working through this. Okay, so let's go back over this. We got the connector here at the front of the air box. We got the bottom two is in place. We got our air sensor back on. We got a new filter in. We got the battery locked down. We got the positive wire back on. So now I'm going to go to the other side and reconnect the positive wire over there. Or excuse me, the negative. So far, so good. We haven't blown anything up yet, he says jokingly. Now we're ready to come back over here and we're going to reconnect the negative wire here. Well, I may have to put the deal down. Sorry guys, gonna need both hands here. That good and tight. Okay, I like the way things are looking. I feel like we really have everything completed. What we're going to do now is go find a funnel, fill this thing up, and we're going to see where we go. Tightening the side one. Make sure that one's tight. Let me find a funnel and get the antifreeze, and we're going to top this one off. Okay, so what we're using here is Prestone deck school for GM cars. You do not have to add any water to this. Once again, we lost such a small amount of fluid. I am not worried about this. So you pour this in here, and what's happening is you're just filling up this top tank is all you're really doing. And on this tank, let's see if I can see it, there is a fill line which is right up here, so we are almost there. And what we'll do, we'll fill this up a little, get it up to that fill line. We're getting closer. We're getting closer. All right, I think that's pretty good for a starting point. Put the lid back on the deck's cool. That's the main thing for GM. Okay, let this run off, put it over there so it won't drip. Put our cap back on. So now what's gonna happen now is we'll drive this for a day or two and then I'll check it. I'm really not worried about the overall level of coolant, just because this is such a minute amount. We've got it filled back up, but as this thing starts to work through and builds up pressure, it'll flow back over, it'll go back down to the lower overflow tank, and I think we're good. So that wraps up the job of fixing the low coolant deal. Now I still have to go back and reinstall the little side rubber seal here, but other than that, that's a wrap. Thank you guys. Hey, if you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button. It helps us. We're trying to reach 1,000 subscribers so we can get monetized. Cost you absolutely nothing. Leave us a comment. Love to hear from you, but I'm anxious. What do you think I saved? In my mind, I spent $100 on the tank, $10 on antifreeze, and the quote I had from somebody else to install this was $200 or $250 just to install it. So I think I'm doing pretty good. I think I saved about $250 in 1 hour. All right, guys, as always, glory be to God. Check out our other channel also, Heritage Farms, Texas. Thanks.